Welcome to practice. We're going to begin on the floor. And I'd like to put a support under the spine. So a bolster shape, a long, thin blanket, even a towel rolled up would do it to support the whole length of the spine. And you put the end of your blanket as you're sitting, facing a short end of your mat, right against the sacrum. So when you lay down, then the sacrum and the spine are supported and the shoulder blades get to open either side of the support and the chest is broad. And you can take a leg position that suits your back and hips. So that might be neutral legs, feet hip width, legs parallel, or soles of the feet together and knees out wide. Just double checking that the equipment is suiting your body. We want to get the feeling that the front and back of the neck are even in length and that the back of the neck is as long as you're able to lay it on the support. And then letting your shoulders relax down to the floor. You start to get that feeling of how wide the rib cage can be around the heart and lungs. Shoulders relax. And then we're going to take the arms overhead and hold the elbows. Relaxing the shoulders again. And feeling the influence of the shape of that equipment along the spine, how your spine feels. The front, torso. Find the flow of your breath, letting the breath take up time and space in your body. Beautiful. And then we're going to release the arms and the legs. Roll over to your right side so you can just slip the blanket out from underneath. Don't need that right now. Laying on your back, and we're going to lift the arms and legs off the floor. We're going to be moving the limbs, the arms and the legs, like a kitten batting off the end of a piece of yarn. And press your lower back into the floor. And just let the limbs move, feeling free in space, but really using the core of the body to press the lower back and batting that piece of yarn, feeling the playfulness of the body, but also the lovely support from your core awareness. Keep your neck nice and relaxed. So batting, arms and legs, so they're moving in different directions, taking up space. Good, you start to feel the core of the body warm up. Keep the lower back pressing. And then hug your knees into your chest and rock a little bit from side to side. Mm. Good. Bring the soles of the feet together. So the feet are off the floor, knees are out wide, and interlock your hands behind your head. We're going to press the lower back into the floor and feel that engagement of the front core of the body. Good. Now, if we were to lift the head and the shoulders off the floor, do that now, and bring the right elbow towards the left knee, feel how the core, especially on the left side, engages. Good. And then we're going to lay back down. And we're going to do the opposite side. So pressing your lower back, lifting the left elbow, left shoulder, left rib, moving in the direction of the right knee, and coming back and laying down. Great. Now we're going to do a few of those, but there's a possibility here that the strength of the arms pushes the neck up uncomfortably. So begin by really just relaxing your head and your neck, resting into your hands. Good. And then we're going to lift as much of the torso as we can. And from side to side. If you can, go from side to side without laying your head back down on the floor. You keep lifting. We're trying to lift the ribs rather than push the head forward. Find your breath. Harder to do that here. The diaphragm is constricted. Notice what that feels like. Feeling the substance of the core. And that switching on from side to side. Keeping the neck relaxed. Ooh. Beautiful. And then laying down and hugging your knees and rocking a little bit from side. Great. We're going to take the knees wide now. So reach the knees towards the floor outside the rib cage. See how the core is broad. We're going to take the hands and hold onto the feet and take the knees down towards the floor and the feet out wide and rocking a little from side to side. And as you rock, for example, rocking left, start to straighten your left leg. Right, start to straighten the right. And again, we're just exploring that baby movement, that playful movement in the body. Keeping your lower back pressing. Being curious about the resistance. Ooh, why doesn't that move? Why doesn't that leg go straight? And enjoying the time and space of the breath. All right, and just lastly, come back to center and try to straighten both legs. Ooh, feeling that big resistance. Exploring where you might be able to just relax a little more into that movement. Nicely done. And rolling over to the right side for forward virasana. And we're going to have the knees out wide here. So extra wide, maybe even wider than the mat. Big toes touching and stretching the arms forward. Hmm. Find the space of the breath now, particularly in the back rib. Feeling the back spine moving with the breath, the back ribs moving with the breath. Mm. Mm. Now, we're going to be on the elbows. So just walk your hands in a little bit and lift your hips a little. In fact, lift your hips so they're sort of in line with your knees and walk your elbows so they're under your shoulders. Good. We're going to try and turn the toes out and take the heels out. So we're making a froggy kind of position. And then let the knees slide out as far as they'll go. And we're going to lift the belly, lift the breastbone, and look forward. I'm hoping you're not on a hard floor here. You've got a nice soft rug. It can be hard on the inside of the knees. All right, bring the big toes touching and walking yourself back, elbows back, feeling that big stretch through the hips. Good. And walk your torso all the way up. So the knees are out very wide here. Keep your hands on the floor. Good. And then bringing the knees back to parallel to each other. We're going to take a kneeling position. Now, if kneeling is uncomfortable for your knees, a couple of things you can do. You can take your blanket, double that over so you've got a support underneath your sit bones. If that's still not high enough to support your knees, you could instead try kneeling up if you put your blanket under your knees and just be kneeling. All right. So finding your kneeling, and if your toes are turned in, that's the natural inclination, see if you can bring your feet parallel. So you're getting a nice even stretch inside and outside of that. Bring the hands together and interlock the fingers. Press out through the palms. We're going to try and lift the arm without lifting the shoulders. The shoulder blade reaching down and palms reaching up so that you feel the heart center of the body shining, expanding, back of the neck relaxed, and letting the breath take up time and space in your body. Really reach out through the index fingers. Nice work. Release that side. Release your arms down. Change the interlock of the finger, other index finger on top, pressing out through the palm. The arms are lifting, but shoulder blades are really reaching down. So when you find your full range of movement, the neck is not impeded. To feel that you're relaxing. Good. Pressing out through the index fingers. Feeling that you're in that flow of breath. Beautiful. And then releasing. We're going to put the hands down on the floor in front of the knees and lift your hips up if they're not lifted already, and tuck your toes under. Good. And see how you go, taking your body weight or the weight of the pelvis back to the heels so the feet get a really big stretch. My little toes, but my two little toes don't really touch the floor, so I try with my fingers to give them an extra stretch. The toes are tucked under. So if you do have enough movement in your feet to kneel up onto your heels, then do that. A couple of deep breaths. Good. Put your hands back down on the floor. We're going to roll over the feet by lifting the knees off the floor. So you can just lift a little way. Maybe you can even roll over the feet so the heels start to move back towards the floor. Good. And we're going to explore that movement in the feet and toes. You might just be lifting your knees a little way off the floor, putting them back down. And then you're going to come up to standing, however that makes sense to you. And coming to the front of the mat. Good. Just going to turn around so you can see. We're going to stand with the feet hip width. Lift up onto the ball of the right foot and make circles with your right knee. So you keep the ball of the foot on the floor and you draw a big circle with the right knee. You notice you really start to massage into all the little joints of the foot and the toes. Oh, and the other direction. Trying to keep all the toes on the floor. And then release. And up onto the ball of the left foot. Nice big circle, trying to find all that lovely foot movement. Other direction. All right, the next one can be a little bit testing on knees, but see how you go. You make the movement as small or as big as you need to. So we've got feet hip width parallel. Lift up your heels off the floor and bend your knees. And then we're going to try and make circles with the knees tracking hip width apart and the legs staying pretty parallel. This is going to test your balance as well. Let your upper body take that playful, curious movement to balance. Ooh, travel at a pace that feels good for you. Other direction. Ooh. All those little reflex movements of balance. That's my light flickering. I don't know. Come back to standing. Facing the short front end of your mat. We'll take the arms up and forward bend, Uttanasana. And then we're going to lift up again. Bend the knee, arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. And forward bend, Uttanasana. Arms up. And forward bend, Uttanasana. Just holding your forward bend now. We're going to draw the bones of the spine forward and looking forward. I'm just going to bang my light, see if I can get it to stop flickering, deleting. Beautiful. Let's step the left foot back now so that the heel is pressing the floor and the front leg is bent, and we find the bones of the spine, reaching forward, looking forward, and then play around in that playful way, bending and releasing the front leg. So we're inquiring as to why that won't go straight, or if it does, why does the spine suddenly feel tight? Playing around. Good. Now hold the leg, front leg as straight as you can, the back leg really straight. Press the heels down. Good. And we're going to lift the hands off the floor and look forward, palms facing up. Good. And then we're going to lift the front rib or the left rib up towards the ceiling. So we're twisting to the side as far as you can. And then back to center. And then lifting the right rib. So we're twisting the rib cage so you're looking up the wall to the right. And back to center. And then we're going to step forward. So you're centered. You're going to step forward. You're going to lift up and balance on your right foot. Bring your left leg in front. Take a hold that challenges your balance. So that might be just tiptoes on the floor, hands in front of your heart. Maybe lifting the leg higher. Maybe holding your knee. Maybe holding your foot. So you can feel all those little balance reflexes, even having to put the foot down and lifting up again. Good. And before you place your foot back down, really intend to land at hip width and parallel. Urdhva Hastasana, arms lifting up, looking up. Uttanasana, bones of the spine, pressing forward, feeling the flow of breath. Right leg steps back, so the feet from side to side are about hip width, pressing your right heel. And then we want to play with that front leg and whether it can straighten or quite straighten. So being curious about that movement. How does the spine react to the front leg straightening? So even wriggling around in your ribs and your shoulders can feel very engaging. All right, hold your front leg as straight as it will go and your back leg really straight, pressing the heel. Lift your arms up by your side, palms facing up, looking forward. Good, and then we're going to turn the heart to the right side, so turning the ribs. The right ribs are lifting. Back to center. Lifting the heart now and turning it to the left side, left rib lifting. Breathe on the balance. Beautiful. Come back to center and then lifting up, stepping forward and taking a balance hold that tests you. Toes on the floor, hands pressing, knee lifting, holding the knee, holding the foot, so that your reflexes are needing to really catch you as you wobble, realizing that balance is a playful movement rather than something static. Good, and before you place that leg down, see if you can intend for it to land hip width and parallel. We're going to take some nice big circles with the arms up and back. Just in your own space and time. Feeling how the shoulders move, the armpits move, the chest opens and closes. All of this influence. Try to turn the arms out as you take your arms back. Other direction. We're going to bring the arms behind now and hold. That could be prayer position or holding your forearms or your upper arm. So that the arms are bound And it brings the spine forward, and we're going to forward bend. Be curious here as to how the legs might straighten. Maybe one at a time. Maybe trying to straighten both, lifting the kneecap. But notice how the lower back wants to lift up. So we're drawing the bones of the spine forward. Neck really relaxed. And finding the stretch for your leg in that curious and playful manner. Feeling the flow of your breath, taking up time and space. Good. Stretch your legs as much as they will. Lift your kneecaps. Look forward. And we're going to make a big circle with the top of the head and the whole torso. So you could draw a circle in the air in front of your head. Don't squash the back of the neck. So take the elbows back. You're looking up. Just keep the back of the neck as long as you can. Other direction. So testing that stretch. Discovering where the core stabilizes your body. Beautiful. Bend your knees. Come back to center, sorry. Bend your knees and rolling up. Good. Let's take the arms up. And Tadasana, mountain pose. Okay. Bring your hands in front of your heart. We're going to step the left foot back for Trikonasana. So your feet are about as wide as your leg is long. And you line your right heel up with the center of the left foot in an arch. But we're here to explore our half moon posture again. So what we want to do is we'll be balancing on the right foot, and we're going to dance the left foot in a little bit. And I just want you to get the hang of rocking on your right foot. And we're going to try and keep it parallel to the edges of the mat. And maybe at some point you find your balance. Hands in front of your heart. Press the hands toward the shoulder blades down. So here we are. We've found the balance, but we're probably facing the floor. We're going to try and lift the left hip, lift the left ribs, and shine the heart out to the side. Even imagine shining the heart up to the sky. Ooh. Now, if you can reach further, you can just keep tipping at the hip or folding the right hip crease so the torso starts to move parallel to the floor and the leg parallel to the floor. Beautiful. Whoa. My intention was to land back into my Trikonasana feet, so leg length distance. I didn't quite make it. All right. Bring the hands in front of your heart. Let's do one Trikonasana while we're here. Take the arms out from the shoulders. Reach your right arm down onto your right leg, left arm. And feel that movement of shining the heart out, shining the heart up. Left ribs move back, left hip moves back. Drawing the shoulder blade. Back of the neck as well. Beautiful. Let's lift up, feeling the core support. Hands in front of the heart. We're going to step forward, balance on the right foot, swing the left leg in front. And even if you wobble, have to catch yourselves a few times. How wonderful. How wonderful is our movement and being in our body playfully. Now, this time we're going to take the left knee into a balance hold again out to the side. So that might be tiptoes on the floor. Maybe you can lift your foot higher. Maybe hold your knee or your foot. Just challenging your balance. Shoulders relaxed. Playful approach to what you're doing. And then releasing that side. Tadasana. Hands in front of your heart. Step your right foot back for Trikonasana. Just finding that nice alignment of the body, the hips over the legs, the spine over the hips. All right, we're going to try and balance on that left foot. Now, the left foot is parallel to the edges of the mat, so we're going to keep it where it is. And you're probably going to find you need to step in and then keep playing, trying to find that point as you rock back and forward on your left foot, just keeping it parallel to the edges of the mat, where you can balance on that left foot. Now, we probably have the torso facing the floor. Let's see if we can roll the right hip back. Maybe you need to keep your right toes on the floor. Rolling the right hip back, the right ribs back. Good, and if you really have finding your balance, you might even be able to tuck the left hip crease deeper so that you're bringing the torso more parallel to the floor. And again, be playful, be curious, and lifting the right leg. Ooh. All right, we're going to try and land the right foot back into our Trikonasana distance. Stretching the arms out from the shoulders. Let's take the left hand down onto the left leg. The right arm lifting, the right hip rolls back, the right rib roll back. And there we are. Strong legs, long spine. Letting the breath take up time and space. And be curious about your body in this posture, the breath, how you feel. Using the core of your body to lift up. Bring the hands in front of the heart. We're going to step forward and balance onto the left foot. Ooh. Take the right knee out to the side this time. So you might have your tiptoes on the floor. You might lift the foot higher, maybe holding your knee, maybe holding your foot. Nice and playful and curious about your balance every time you have to catch yourself. Drawing the shoulder blades down. Nice work. Bring the feet under the hips. Tadasana, mountain pose. Feeling oh so stable. Oh so strong. Lifting the kneecap, the quadriceps, the front of the hips, drawing the shoulder blades down. The back of the neck long. Enjoying this moment in your body, your breath. We're going to take a seat now. So however you'd like to travel to that seat, try my sitting without using the hands, also without falling over. And take a simple cross-legged position. The light is slippery. Simple cross-leg position. And a circle with the whole torso and the spine and the neck in that lovely alignment, association. A nice big circle. I love circles so much. Those micro movements where we explore our range of movement. You can feel here the core of the body catching on, stabilizing, understanding. There's a deep wisdom in our body, and it can be very freeing to keep that out. I'm hoping I said other direction. Good, and back to center. A big stretch now. So right side, and you're going to just reach as far as you can to your right side. Left arm by the left ear. We want to get that feeling of turning the rib cage or opening the heart towards the ceiling or the sky. So the left ribs are rolling back. The heart is shining upward and outward. And really reach with your left arm to the left side. Stretching, let the shoulders back towards your waist so your neck is long. Finding that. Good. Now, to go to the other side, we're going to sweep the body in a great big curve out in front. So take it slow. You can use your hands to support if you like. So you're all the way over on the left side. And the right arm is reaching. And we're going to lift the right rib. Draw the shoulder blades back. Listen. Sweep yourself back to center and lifting up. Nice. And we're going to swap the cross of the legs. Let's go back over to the left side to begin with. Just reaching as far as you can. Opening the heart. Signing upward and outward. Beautiful. Sweep yourself out in front, so arms out in front. You can keep your hands on the floor if that feels better for the core, or use the core. Over to the right. Heart is shining out and up. Finding time and space for the breath. Sweep yourself back to center. Got time to lay down and take a little blanket under your hips, bamboo pose, where it feels like the legs are just balancing. If you're struggling anywhere in your core, front or back side, you can put your feet on the floor. But if you can just balance your legs, let that happen. We want to be relaxing. Being curious about what that feels like to just let go. No more reaching or exploring the body relaxing. And it's not a completely supported pose. There's a little bit of work going on. So just noticing where that is. Feels like if you try and straighten your legs, or if you bend them a little and be really relaxed. Feeling the flow, breath of life forth. We're going to bend the legs in now. Soles of the feet onto the floor. so that you can lift your hips and take your blanket out. Hug your knees into your chest. Okay. We started here, rocking a little bit from side to side. And then rolling to your right side and coming up to sitting. If I could stay in Shavasana right now, I would. You could. Bring your hands in front of your heart. And take the feeling of the practice with you. Namaste.